On this quick episode of Coffee and Snakes, we are discussing tongs. Tongs. This is what separates the little snake pet owner from the big reptile or snake owners. So, let's just discuss tongs, shall we? They're cool, right? Makes you feel like an evil scientist, but really, there are significant reasons that you would have something like this as opposed to something like this. And I've also got another couple sets. They're just tiny, tiny sets. But these I use on a regular basis because I have multiple guys who are going to need this size, or, basically I have to sit there. This is my magic wand as a snake owner. This is your magic wand. You have to be able to take control of this. And with some of the problem eaters, you're going to be sitting there with a long period of time, just kind of like doing the whole, the rodent shuffle with the tongs. And so these are really important, especially if you have the bigger animals. Obviously, you don't want something to accidentally slip into the cage, when it comes to a problematic eater for you. So making sure that there's some way that the animal doesn't slip out is really, really helpful, especially when it comes to feeding time, because you want to do it right the first time. There's no reason not to. These are great for things like tiny mice. These are great. I especially like the feet, the rubberized feet, because basically it holds on to the tiny mice a little bit better for you. And usually when I'm grabbing something with a set of these, I will be holding on at the base of the hip joint like this, but I will actually be using, the median. So that way, it gives a little bit of space, to actually hold on. So that way, in case if I have to rattle it around or knock it against something or whatever, you run into a myriad of problems feeding animals. So, it's a thing, definitely. So these are great for, the smaller ones. So like the mouse size or the small rat in our case. We usually do a lot of the small rats with something like this. This is great because I hop it over, I give him a second to, respond, sniff, sniff, tongue, okay, strike, and then, it gives, you do a little play, and then let go, and then they've got their thing. Totally great for, hobby owners, and also ball pythons. These are good for ball pythons. When you get into the larger animals, the boas and obviously the carpet pythons and that sort of thing, you're going to need something like this because what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to be able to maneuver the food item, the prey item for the snakes. A lot of that interaction and interest comes from two things: the sniff, the smell of the aroma of the animal. It's just one of those things about being a snake owner. I love it, but I don't at the same time, and for obvious reasons. You understand why. So back to the tongs. You'll want to make sure that, with a larger rat, you're not going to be able to hold on to a larger rat with something like this. Literally, and if you get up to, if you have to, hold on to something, it's just, no way, not even a chance. So these do not do larger rats. So rat sizes, you move up to something like this, where, I'll grab them by whatever, because a large rat, we're talking at least 1.5 pounds of meat just dripping, dead thaw. So, you get in there and you do the rat, but also making sure that you're holding on to that hip. And with these, there's a really good contact. And also, I have enough space. I've got at least a foot when the grippage actually starts to work and maneuver. If I'm actually working in a narrow spot with you know, with the prey item. When it gets to this big, I don't worry about having troublesome eaters because I haven't yet. So this is just me making sure that I get their interest. Flop, 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 flop. Smells good, looks like escargot, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Strike. Yeah. it's literally like this. And then, you know, at that point, that's when you release it. But with something like this, you are definitely going to want them for boas and larger ball pythons, especially if you're nervous. Making sure that working with your tongs is really an art. Really, it's definitely an art form. Poof, hocus, pocus, and the rat is gone. Yeah, cool, huh? Thank you. But it's really an important art form. Getting to know what that snake needs, and you know, being able to negotiate and breeding the how far and how fast it's going to strike as well. So you know, I mean, bear in mind that when you've got like this much and it goes, you know, with the little guys, you know, if you do it wrong, you could definitely like knock their head or stuff like that. So not for little ones, but definitely very important for the big size. So this is what separates the school teachers from the real. So anyway, I no diss on school teachers because I love you guys very much, definitely. But you understand where I'm coming from. Like, this is like the serious stuff where it's like, I do not want anything that's picking up something out of this tong to like strike at me and get me, because that's gonna be blood everywhere. So it's gonna be gross and stuff like that. Not to say that that's happened. Knock on wood. Anyway, I want to say thank you very much for tuning in to coffee and snakes, tongs. Yeah, there we go. There's the pun. Tongs you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your day.